Hello, how are you? Hadn't tried the car in a while, so here we are, the car and I, come to visit. Um, I wanted to share something in particular. I've been going around with kind of a heavy feeling for a little bit, and I've pondered it and looked around at the things, the circumstances of my life, where you'd logically look to see for a cause or what might be causing it. And I find little things, but I don't really find anything to account for this. And so I wanted to share something that I found that tends to work for me, and maybe it will for you. And that is, I just let it be. I sit with it whenever it comes on strong, just to be with it, just to be empty, and to let the feeling flood in, whatever it is. So it's this heaviness, and there's a sadness too. And I'm just quiet with it, I don't have any media on. I'm not reading anything or doing anything, just being. And giving it my attention. I center so that I'm connected with my intuition should anything arise. Now, I've done this a couple of times, several times, and nothing is arising. But here's the good part. You don't have to do anything. I have found you don't have to figure things out. There's no doing that I found that will really work, that will really help. If I was to try to put words to what I think is going on, and these may or may not be, any good, something inside is being worked out, is being worked through. And keep in mind, we all have some challenging astrology now due to the way the outer planets are positioned. And so I'd say off and on for the next, it's either 2 or 3 years, 2.5 years, something like that, we'll have Pluto and Uranus and sometimes Saturn square and opposed. And so those are challenging. Those aren't comfy cozy like a trine or a sextile would be. And so as the faster planets zip around, the moon goes through all 12 signs in 1 year. And so it touches everything, but it's only briefly. And so sometimes you'll have maybe a brief period where for a few days or a week or I don't know how long, sometimes it's only hours, sometimes longer. This has been about 3 days now, I guess. It will be uncomfortable to be you. It'll just out and out be uncomfortable. I mean, we're not talking not being able to function or anything here. We're talking more about an emotional tone, kind of a background thing, where something just doesn't feel right. And so I just wanted to share that it's okay not to know. It's okay to not feel great all of the time. Doesn't necessarily mean much of anything. It could just mean passing astrological energies that are awkward and uncomfortable. But this too will pass, whatever it is. It's like when I have a question, I go into heart with it. When I get an email from someone, I'll be in heart with it, and either a response will come right up. Most often it does. or it won't. And if it doesn't, I'll be with it just kind of in emptiness for a few moments. And if nothing comes, I'll put it away and I'll sleep on it. And very often in the next day or two or three, I'll have an answer. So I'm not doing that. You could say that's doing me. It's hard to describe, but things will work themselves out if we just get out of the way. Life, I think, is a lot easier now than it ever was before. I used to take all kinds of things on, and I should all over myself. I should do this, I should be doing that, I ought to this, that, or the other. And it's all garbage, it's all nonsense. You can throw it all away, at least I have. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, come on. I'm just saying I've learned a few things. I find getting older is much better. I don't want to go back and be young again. I like having gone through so much, and now things are just easier. We make most of our trouble for ourselves. Most of the negative things we perceive and feel, we're projecting that. We might think so-and-so did this or said this or whatever, and it's their fault, but I found it's not. I found that if I go back and look at that again with a different perspective, if I go back and be open and empty and not blaming or judging and look again, I'm usually the one projecting what I think it is, what I think someone means on the situation. Life really is a reflection on the outside of what we've got going on the inside. So, we've been lied to. Oh, well, we don't quite know how things work, but we are getting some things figured out. And we've got this joint conversation going on the internet that I think is a whole lot of fun. And we're sharing. And so what I learn, I bring forward and share. And I pick up what you learned, And so we've got the joint conversation going on. And it's a whole lot of fun. So I won't take up too much time. I just wanted to share that one thing. Be here now is really good. It really is. And when your now is heavy, it's okay. It's okay. It'll pass. I mean, if we spend a few moments in memory, we can look back and we can see that what comes goes, what arrives departs. And so, for most things, this works. Love and light. Good day. Hey there. Had another idea or two come to me, so here's an addendum. And here they are. The first one is about astrology. I'm not saying the moon or the planets cause this or that. I don't know. I'm just saying there appears to be a correlation between the movements of the celestial bodies and what happens. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And the other thing, in an earlier video recently, I was talking about, or I have been, the subconscious and the unconscious, and how big a part they play in our lives. I mean, our conscious mind occupies less than 10% of the mind. Wow, huh? And so, what came to me was that I think Well, you know what I think. I think frequencies are rising and consciousness is rising. And it can get a little awkward and uncomfortable. It brings things up. Things that are of a lower frequency are kind of shoved out. It's like the sun shining into the room, and all of a sudden you see all those dust motes standing there. They're brought out by the light of the sun. They were there, they just weren't seen before, weren't noticed. And so maybe what's happening is, as our consciousness is expanding, our awareness may be expanding out more into the subconscious. So we may be getting more aware of what's going on there. Now, I don't know. You know how the mind is. It does like to understand. And so, I don't know. Is this coming from mind? I don't know. Anyhow, just a thought. The point is still the same, though. We don't have to do anything. Our consciousness is so much bigger, broader than what we think. We've been made to think we're these little bitty inconsequential biological blobs, here by accident, everything being random. We've really been fed a pile of hooey about how things are. And so we've got a lot of garbage to go through and to cast off. We don't need that anymore. It gets in the way is what happens. You know, if we accept beliefs like that, that limits us. A lot of times in the past, we made the mistake of reaffirming them, of reaccepting them. And so back down into the consciousness they went, into the subconscious. So, you know, just some thoughts. Talk to you again soon. Bye.